Okay, we may have gone a little barbecue crazy at Sonic. We BBQified not one, but 3 iconic menu items. But I mean, come on, can you really blame us for going slightly overboard? When you add smoked pulled pork and tangy cherrywood smoke sauce to a melty cheeseburger, a brioche-topped barbecue sandwich, and crispy, cheesy tacos, you'd be crazy not to go crazy. Pulled pork barbecue, now at Sonic. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. All right, so you have to share some bad news with your coworkers.
Okay.
So how do you do that? I mean, do you just say like, hey, how are you? I hope you're having a good day. Your sales results are down. Or do you say, hey, you're having a good day. Your sales results are down, but I think you can do better. Thumbs up.
Isn't that the positive sandwich?
Yes.
Positive, correction, positive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what they have found in Chatham University is that if you need to say some bad news to your coworkers, that instead of just saying like, oh, your sales suck, is that you say your sales are bad, and then, but I think you can do better, like using that thumbs up. And if you can use emojis, yes, if you start using emojis when you're spreading bad news around, is that it makes people feel like you're more human.
That's interesting, because when I get emojis, I think it's immature.
Do you?
Especially in a professional setting, like when a manager sends out, we did great this quarter, thumbs up, celebration hat. Just like, I think it's immature.
Well, Maddie and I were talking about this, and I said, it would be really bad if you sent out like the poop emoji.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
that would reflect my numbers from last quarter.
Okay, you know what she told me? Her mom thought it was smiling chocolate ice cream. Okay.
Want to come over for dessert? Poop
With
emoji.
the poop emoji. But the cow emoji. You don't want to use that.
I don't even know if I've ever seen the cow emoji.
Yeah. It's a mooji. Oh, yes. We're starting out on a good note, aren't we?
I apologize on her behalf.
Yeah. Buckle up. It's another Kim Commando Today. Exciting episode. You're not going to believe my story coming up. But first, yeah.
You said it right before the show.
Oh.
I'm going to be shocked.
You are going to be shocked.
All
You are
right.
going to be shocked. It's
I'm
something that
ready.
happened to me.
Oh, it's a personal story.
Yes.
So I didn't see it in all the blogs or the aggregators. They haven't had it,
Not yet.
got a hold of it.
Not yet, but it will. And of course, it's not just me here.
No.
It's Andrew Babinski.
Hi, Kim.
Bum, 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 bum.
Got to get a sound effects budget.
Oh,
Literally. I mean, I appreciate the effort, and I like hearing them, but we need a sound effects budget.
okay.
Because
First, we
you
need
only have 2. You have bump up a bum and bum 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 bum.
Well, if we have more viewers,
Yeah.
then we can get advertisers.
If you want real sound effects and not bum 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 bum, just share the podcast,
That's it. Just one
And-
person.
the live stream. Yeah, whatever you're watching on right now, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. Just share it with someone. You like the show, they'll like it too.
And then we have Madeline Smith coming up, and she's on TikTok, and then, so somebody thinks like you're messing around, or a woman thinks like her guy is messing around.
Usually, yeah. This is the what is it called? What does she call it? The loyalty test.
Yes, and so you could pay her to go get the guy.
I didn't know that there was a transaction involved. I thought she just did it for fun.
Oh no, I think you have to pay like $30.
Oh, that's not bad.
Maybe not all the time. And then you're going to be talking about NASA
Yes, NASA is looking for volunteers.
to do what?
Well, that's the story.
Oh,
So this is the tease part. That's the body part.
Oh,
So I'll tell you in a little bit, Kim.
okay. Sorry, I'm a professional broadcaster. All right. So let me tell you what happened to me.
All right.
Where normally this is the part of the podcast where I'd say like, here are 5 things that you need to know about tech.
But this
Okay.
trumps it.
This trumps it. Okay. So Friday night, I had made some grilled chicken and a salad
Are you just at home?
just at home. Barry and I are at home. Barry's having his gin martini. I'm having my lemon drop martini.
Is this before or after you sent me the picture of the largest antenna I've ever seen in my life at someone's house?
This is
Just want to gauge.
This is after.
Okay.
This is after. Okay. And we're just sitting there, just having dinner, husband and wife type
Yeah.
of thing. And all of a sudden, I start hearing helicopters. very loud helicopters. And I'm like, "Do you hear that?" And Barry's like, "Yeah, what is that?" And then all of a sudden we see like searchlights going over our house, the helicopters. And I'm like, "Oh, wow, this is really something." So we look out, and our house. We have a great view of the city.
So, like on your property, the searchlights, or around your property?
No, going onto our patios, into our pool.
Because you have that like desert landscaping area that's under your patio there.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, and obviously the house is gated and fenced and all this other stuff. And then we look out and we see the whole subdivision, probably a dozen cop cars.
Oh, that fast?
Okay. And so I go out on the patio, you know me.
Sure.
Like, why not?
You run into the burning building instead of running away.
And I say to a cop who I see far away, I say, "Hey, what's going on?" And he says, "Get in the house. Get in the house." I said, "I'm sorry. What's happening?"
Kim, that's not, excuse me, officer. Do you know who I am? Tell me what's going on.
Well, I want to know what's happening.
He's yelling, "Get in the house." What if they're about to open fire on someone?
So he said, it's the gang from Chile
Yeah, I heard about this.
that's in your neighborhood right now. And I look at Barry, and Barry's like, "Oh, the Chilean gang," and he knows all about it. I don't know anything about it. Of course not. I'm sitting there like, "Do you guys need any water?" And so as it turns out, they had targeted our street. And they were not targeting our house. They were targeting the house next door where nobody was. But they had actually gotten a house about 3 doors down from us. And they're using cell phone jammers and Wi-Fi jammers. And so this way, they wait until you're not home. See, we
Right.
were home. Okay, we had the lights on. We had music playing, that whole thing.
They absolutely had cased your house, but they're not going to rob. If you don't know the story, here in the valley in North Phoenix.
Well, it's not just in the valley. It's actually all throughout the country.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Oh,
I thought it was
yes.
just because it's happening in tons of neighborhoods
Right.
where people are not home and getting robbed, and they're coming home to their houses destroyed and all their valuables stolen.
So the guy down the street, he left to go to dinner at 5:00. At 5:05, he's sitting, I don't know, some restaurant nearby, obviously, and he gets a notification that his cameras are offline.
But that's why they're using the jammers.
Exactly. But he thinks like, "Oh, the internet went down."
Sure.
He comes home and he finds out that they took $25,000 worth of cash that he had in his master bedroom, jewelry, art, worth about $100,000. Okay, so that I didn't know that happened. Okay, so all of a sudden I'm standing there, and again I'm on the patio,
You didn't listen to the officer who said,
No.
"Get in the house."
Mm.
Fair enough.
and the SWAT team starts approaching our house. And here, I have some videos, some surveillance videos. Okay, that's them coming in our front gate, or our
Seriously?
second gate.
Yeah.
Okay, this
I
is
mean-
big stuff. The dog.
What's
the
that?
dog's amazing.
30 feet from your front door?
Right. Okay, and I think we have some videos too. Yeah, look at them coming into the property.
So obviously they think someone's hiding on your property.
Yes, they do. They thought that they saw somebody jump our fence. So they surrounded the entire house. That dog is amazing.
Where are you at this point?
I'm inside.
So you did finally go inside.
I did go inside and here they are in the back patio. One of the patios.
There's Barry's antenna.
Yes, you see the antenna.
Thank goodness the burglars didn't get it.
They cased the entire property.
How long were they there for?
About an hour.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. About an hour. Just walking around, looking around. At one point and they're all carrying the AK-47s.
Right.
But they walked all around the property, stood there, waited until, it seemed like everything had happened. So here's how it came down. Here's what happened. So we are inside the house and all this is going on. But we can see through the glass to see where all the cops are and everything.
Right.
So as I mentioned, they wanted the house next door to us. They were not home. But when they figured out that they weren't home, see, they dropped the cell phone jammers and the Wi-Fi jammers on our borderline property. In the cul-de-sac, right by our house, was the getaway car. And it was a woman who was driving. and she was in a minivan, a rented minivan with two guys, or actually five guys in the van. And so after they robbed a couple of houses, at least, is that they jumped in the minivan and they went racing down the street, and she ran into an unmarked police car.
So it's not like they were tailing them or investigating them. They knew they were. It was just dumb luck that she hit a cop car.
Yes, but she wasn't going to be able to get out of the neighborhood. I mean, which I questioned to the cop, the sergeant. I talked to him on Saturday. I said, why would they even choose this? There's only one way in and one way out. He's like, I don't know. But he explained to me that this is all organized crime. This is like mafia. Mm-hmm. That before they even come into the United States, they have training camps where they simulate this is how you enter in. And if you're fast enough, you get to cross the border and you get to come into the United States.
Wow.
And so it's not just happening here in Phoenix. It's happened in Bel Air, Los Angeles, San Diego, Detroit, Miami. I mean, it's actually casing the whole place.
And they're hitting higher end neighborhoods.
Correct.
And there's been tons of them happening in, the Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, Central Phoenix
Paradise
area.
Valley.
Yeah.
And so they're just going through the whole neighborhoods. And so, of course we have guns and, and everything. So, we were, and I called my neighbor and I said, listen, just want to let you know it's going down. And he's like, I have more guns than the police department. And I'm like, okay, well, you might want to turn your lights on and look like you're at home.
But also, let's be friends.
Yes, exactly.
So did they catch anybody?
They did. They caught the woman when she crashed into the unmarked police car. They arrested her, and then because she jumped out and some of the guys weren't jumped out, and they arrested two guys, but I think there's still three at large right now.
And did the cops know that they were about to hit this neighborhood, or was it, like I said, it was just dumb luck a cop was sitting there?
No, they knew they were going to hit this.
They knew. Okay.
I mean, it was too much of a orchestrated lockdown. I mean, nobody in, nobody out. And I even called a guy that I know who lives like 3 doors down, and I said, "Listen, if your house looks really dark," I said,
Right.
"If you're trying to get in," and he's like, "No," because I went to dinner because I'm not even allowed out into the neighborhood.
Wow.
And so. So it is. It was quite frightening. So now we have security guards actually planted outside the gate because they are. Yesterday, when we hired a security guard, Barry was out there talking to them, and rented minivan with 2 women came into the neighborhood.
How did they know it was a rented minivan? They scanned the plates?
Or Barry said it looked like a rented car.
Okay.
And then they saw our security guard. And then Barry said they put it in reverse and like went right down the street.
So that's so brazen. They just got busted there. Well, maybe they think they're never going to think we're going to hit it twice in a row.
Exactly. Now here's the other interesting part. Okay, so this happened on Friday. So on Monday, I go for my walk. You know me, I walk 25, 30 miles a week. And when I go on a walk, it's always a good time for me to talk to Ian because it's like uninterrupted time. I'm not on my computer, and we just kind of talk about what's going on and cars and girls and school and whatever it may be. And so this is a walk that I've gone on several times with him, obviously. I mean, meaning not with him, but talking to him.
He's on the phone.
Right. And so I got like probably, I don't know, maybe 2 houses away from our house. I lost the cell phone signal. Okay. And then I go a couple of feet and then I get it back.
They left the jammer?
They must have left jammers all throughout this neighborhood because normally I would never lose him at once on this walk.
Right.
Okay. But I lost him, I counted 9 times. 9 times on this walk.
We should go find them.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. We should.
Get on some phones, walk until they drop, and then start looking around.
Well, they could be very small. The small ones, the batteries last a couple of days.
So they're probably going to
dying
be dead
right
pretty
now.
soon. Yeah.
And then the bigger ones, like the batteries are about the size of a lunchbox, and they can last like for 5 days, maybe even longer. So what do you do?
What do you do?
Okay, because if they jam your Wi-Fi, okay, then your Ring doorbell, your security system, everything doesn't work.
But you get the alert, but like your neighbor said, I just figured, the internet's out. I'm fine.
My neighbor across the street, he was up north, okay? And so he's sitting at a bar in Prescott or Payson or wherever he was, and at 7:05, he gets an alert that all his cameras shut off. And he's thinking like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Battery, internet went down,
Mm-hmm.
no big deal. And then, but he said his cameras came back on at 7:30. So they must have picked up the jammer
Right.
and then took it with them. So the whole idea is that they, after they cased the neighbor's house to the left of us, and then they cased our house, is that they went up the street.
This Wi-Fi jam. I'm trying to think. The only way would be to have all your cameras hardwired.
Exactly. That's the only thing. And see, our cameras obviously were still working because, you can see the videos and you saw the pictures.
But you guys built that house, so you had it pre-wired for everything.
Exactly.
But, someone like me, I have cameras at my house, but it's so much easier just to put up a Wi-Fi camera. It works just as well.
Right.
But yeah,
and you know what? And
Target.
so when I've been making fun of Barry for, I don't know, forever, that we had a landline. We still have a landline. But we need a landline because there's an elevator in the house. And so because of the rulings and code and everything like that, you need to have a landline for an elevator, but I was always like, why do we need it?
So
but now I'm like, okay, old school's okay. All right. We could call 911 if we needed to.
But even if you had a landline, if you didn't have those cameras hardwired, yours would have all shut off.
Correct. But everything's all hardwired. Let's look at the one more time at the video of the SWAT team coming in.
That's so nuts, Kim.
It is. It's very crazy. It's it's like that you just kind of feel like a sitting duck out there.
Absolutely. Because everybody else was. It's rolling.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be 15 cops.
Well, I counted 22 at once. This is the entire city of Phoenix SWAT department.
Well, because this is a huge problem. Look at that. I mean, that's legit SWAT.
Yeah, it is.
And you never think while you're sitting there eating your chicken and broccoli that in 15 minutes we're going to be interrupted by 22 SWAT members.
Okay, and then there were also helicopters overhead saying, if we spot you, you're arrested, saying it in English and Spanish. There were drones. They probably had 4 or 5 drones.
Smart.
All around. I was very impressed. I was very impressed with the orchestration, how they approached the property, how they approached me as the homeowner, the follow-up from the sergeant afterwards, the follow-up saying, can we get some of these videos? Maybe there's something we can do. Gave time frame. John, our IT genius, he was on the spot. I mean, I called him over the weekend and said, can we pull some of these videos and things like that.
Did they ever see anyone on camera on your property?
They thought they did.
They thought they did, okay.
And the dog smelt somebody. That's what he told me.
Okay.
And but because of the fence, they probably weren't able to get over the fence. So they hit the fence, but there was a jammer that they left by the fence.
On your property?
Yes.
You saw it?
Yes.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah. How smart, though. I mean, what a use of technology for nefarious reasons.
I know. This is organized crime.
Absolutely. And they're going wild. I mean, I first heard about it like last week on Wednesday. Beth, I work with, her neighborhood got hit multiple houses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the word got around that they're using the wash. So they're coming down the wash from the golf course because she lives in a gated community. So you can't have a getaway car. And that's how they're getting in and out of the neighborhood, is using the wash that hits the golf course, and they have a car parked on the golf course.
Well, big kudos to the city of Phoenix
Absolutely.
Police Department, because let me tell you, this is the first police department in the entire country who has arrested anybody. I mean,
that's impressive.
It is very impressive.
The fact they knew where they were going to hit has got to scare these guys. That they knew they were going to be there. So that means they have someone on the inside. They have some way of getting this information that they knew this was going to be the neighborhood.
No, and I tell you, every cop, such a gentleman, so nice, and because as after they arrested, they still hung out,
right,
just to make sure, see if anything else was still going on.
How are you feeling now?
Violated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we have the alarm on all the time.
Sure.
Okay, and always to make sure we didn't go out to dinner at all. It's like, why would we go out to dinner? Because we're just going to be sitting here. We're like just telling them, just come on in.
Right. Or you just got to leave. You got to do like a scene from Home Alone where you have, you put one of those stand-up models on a train track. It's like, the teenage. So it just looks like you're home at all times.
That's what we should do. Although it could just be me pointing my finger at like Barry, like, rah, rah, rah.
They're home. Let's go to the next house.
God, I don't want to be on her bad side.
Another domestic.
Another domestic. So if you want to come hang out with us, we have some exciting things that happen over the weekend. So
Kim and Barry leave their house for a month, so they need people to come over and entertain them.
You know what? That's for sure. It is for sure.
That's crazy.
I'm already arranging house sitters.
Yeah, you have to.
Yes. So
right now.
You want a place to stay for a while?
Yeah, sure. I'll get killed by the cartel.
All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit. When we come back, we're going to talk to Madeline Smith. She's super popular on TikTok. She gets hired by women to see if their spouse is cheating on them. Better watch out, Andrew.
I am a good boy.
Let me tell you about a revolutionary new mobile voicemail app. If you've got a business, your voicemail is probably filled with messages from customers. Often the messages don't contain all the details you need. But what if you were able to get visual information from your callers? That's something you can't do with a traditional audio voicemail box, but you can with Fillmore Productions Video Voicemail. With Fillmore Productions Video Voicemail, callers receive a link to download the mobile app. There they can view important details about your business, watch videos about what you have to offer, and then leave you a video message. Actors and musicians can showcase what they do, and callers to medical practices or repair shops can report their issues visually. There are so many things that video voicemail can do for a business that makes audio voicemail a thing of the past. Discover what video voicemail can do for your business. Visit getvideovoicemail.com. That's getvideovoicemail.com. That's getvideovoicemail.com.
Hey, it's Kim Commando today. It's your Daily Fun podcast. That's what I like to say about all things digital. Just weeks left in our giveaway. That's right. That $1,000 PC or Mac laptop could be yours. And you can enter to win right now at commando.com.
Just got to try one newsletter. That's it.
It's not a big deal, folks.
How many emails do you get on a daily basis? One more? And this one's you're actually going to read and interact with.
And you're going to love it.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to change your life. It's going to make you smarter. You're going to have thinner thighs, smaller waist.
I don't think you can make any of these promises.
You're going to grow more hair, Andrew.
Oh, I'm definitely signing up. I'm going to sign up 3 to 4 times.
Where's Arturo? Arturo Torres. I haven't heard from Arturo ever since I've been making.
Kim loves your name.
I love his name.
Get in response.
It's awesome. All right. So if you use TikTok, you may have noticed that it seems like a lot of people are having affairs.
Really?
Yes, it is. Madeline Smith. Okay. She's gorgeous.
She is.
She is a knockout.
She couldn't do this unless she wasn't gorgeous. Because that's part of her whole, I don't want to call it an act, scheme, her test, her loyalty test is that, she's reaching out to these guys, some of them famous, some of them just, scoundrels. And she's sending them pictures and using her appearance from her Instagram to bait them in to see if they'll cheat on their partners.
Yeah, and then they look at her and they're like, "Oh yeah." So is it really right? I mean, is it something that you should be doing? I mean, she runs about 100 loyalty checks. That's what she calls every week. And she says that out of 10 guys, how many people flunk?
8?
Yeah. 8 out of 10 flunk. That is just so sad. So joining us right now on Kim Commando today is Madeline herself. Hi, Madeline.
Hi. How are you guys?
Oh, great. So how did you come up with this idea?
Well, that is actually my most commonly asked question, and it's something that just kind of fell into place. What happened was years ago, I had helped some friends with some intense legal battles and custody battles. I've testified in court cases. And then my fiance was like, you know what? You've been doing all of these things for women. So why don't you put it out on TikTok in the form of a loyalty test and see what happens? I'm like, no one's going to care. Well, he was right. I was wrong.
And so what happens? How do you do this?
So essentially what happens is when a woman reaches out to me, I try to get a feel for exactly what kind of red flag she's seeing. If, it's just purely intuition, if she is, if the guy has a history of being secretive, and that answer is almost always yes. And just based off of his personality, his profile, things like that, then I will approach them in the way that I think will work the best. Talk to them, see if they're willing to deny that they're in a relationship, or maybe they don't care. Some guys are like, I'm married, but they're still down to meet up. And then I send the screenshots to the girl, block the guy, have a very long block list.
I bet.
I bet you do.
Yeah, and that's essentially it in a very small nutshell, because there's, of course, a lot of emotions that go into it. There's a lot of nuance. It's not always that straightforward. There's a lot of women whose lives I get invested in, who have become good friends, that it
Wow.
hurts my heart for them. So
So what do you say in that first DM to the guy?
it could be, I don't want to give away all my secrets.
Okay.
But
Here's the thing, Kim. She doesn't have to say much with some of these guys. Some of them, it's just hi.
I mean, she's and you're beautiful, Madeline. I
And
mean,
then
you're
they're
gorgeous.
sending videos and inappropriate pictures immediately, right off the bat.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I would think like if they were like in a committed relationship, like you'd have to have that warm up stage.
You'd think.
Okay. No
not
warm up.
always. Sometimes,
Now,
but not always.
are you worried as you become more popular that, you become more recognizable, that these guys that you're trying to give the loyalty test to are going to see your picture and know that who you are and what you do, and immediately are going to be like, no, sorry, I'm a good little boy. I've never cheated on my princess.
Yes and no. I do have I have girls that I will subcontract out work to.
Nice.
Nice.
And also, it's not really something that guys are looking up on TikTok.
No, that's a good point. It showed up on my girlfriend's, my loyal girlfriend that I never would cheat on and I'm extremely
good. I'm
loyal
watching you.
to. It showed up on her feed. She knew exactly who you were immediately, but I had never seen it because, my feed is sports cards and cooking and all that stuff.
My audience and my videos are anywhere between 90 to 95, sometimes more % female. So it's not something that's being recommended to males.
So what are some signs that a guy's cheating?
Well, in the digital age of just our whole life is digital, which is wonderful because it obviously gives us so many different capabilities and we're able to connect with people in a way we never have before. But then that also opens the door for a lot of secrecy. So I always say the number one thing to look for is secrecy with their phone. And I talk to a surprising amount of women who have been married for 10 years and aren't allowed to touch his phone.
No.
And that's
really
wild. Oh, it's so common. Yeah. I'm not talking about like, hey, you've been dating for 3 months, you should have full access. That's different. So, I say these things and, there's rules to them. There's guidelines, meaning like, you can't have full access to someone's phone when you first start dating. That's not fair, but yeah, if you're married and you're not allowed to touch their phone,
There's
you don't even
something
know
wrong.
their passcode. There's something weird going on.
I know a couple, they've been married for, I want to say like 20 years. And he won't allow her to put on Find My Friends. Which
Is that a red flag?
Oh, yeah.
I think that, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to say anything to her, but I was like, if you don't, if you can't look at your phone and know exactly where he is at any given moment.
I've only been dating my girlfriend for a year and a half, and we both track each other's phones.
Yeah.
And that's not even a marriage.
Right. Exactly. Those who have nothing to hide nothing. So,
like I said, I'm very loyal. I have nothing to hide. There's no reason. You get an email from Jennifer Cole, just delete it.
Just say.
We'll just have to really pull out the big guns for that one.
Now, I was going through some of your videos, and I don't see the happy endings a lot. Is that because people don't want to watch those, or is it because they're not frequent enough for me to see them?
It's a little bit of both. So I don't post a lot of the passes because the passes are really, there's no content to them. You know, it would just be me saying like, I reached out to this guy. He told his girlfriend or his wife and blocked me.
But I think it shows the other side of us good guys, us faithful guys.
Okay, nobody cares about the good guys. We want to hear about the bad guys.
I just want the drama. Okay.
Yeah. There was never an episode of Maury Povich where everybody shook hands at the end.
Love you. Kumbaya.
Exactly.
Okay. So
not
now
how Jerry Springer got on the air.
So what happens, Madeline, when like, have you ever had a woman say like, oh, you have him all wrong. He would never do that.
Yes, I have. It's really interesting the psychology that goes behind that because I've had women reach out and say, I know for a fact that my husband will pass. I know it. But here, will you just do it for fun? You know, and I'm like, well, okay, so you're going to spend your money on confirming something that you seem to know, and then they end up failing. And then it's like, big blow.
Well, you know, but if you're going to do that, you have to have some inkling. You have to have some sign, right? That
totally agree.
You know, that
you
something's wrong.
What does it cost to have a loyalty test?
So I have different prices based off of, you know, how much effort it is. Sometimes girls want me to build a relationship for like a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Or talk to him on the phone or FaceTime and, you know, all of that. So
your eyes. You're like, oh my God.
So if you just want me to reach out and see how it goes, it's $45.
Okay.
But then of course, you know, because we are pretty slammed with requests, then, you know, if you want an expedite fee or kind of like a VIP, you know, fee where you have like my number and things like that, because I can't obviously make myself available to everyone all the time, then that will fluctuate. So
that's not bad.
So on these FaceTime calls, if the guy asks you to get like, you know, down and dirty, how do you handle that?
Oh, I just tell him like, well, maybe later. Or I say, well, my kids are here right now. I can't do it.
Oh, that's a good one. That's really smart.
Yeah, well, when all else fails, just blame the kids, you know?
Oh, was that? I just heard mommy. Was that what I heard, mommy? Yes.
Oh my God, they know what I do too. So I'm like, guys, be quiet. I'm filming a video for this guy, and they're like, okay, and they like stop everything. Like, did you catch him yet? Like,
you know that would be it'd be so funny, like on Bring Your Mom to Work Day.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah.
But that's the thing.
They're in on it.
Probably all the kids in her class in their school knows what she does. I mean, she's huge. No, you don't think it reaches the younger demographics? You don't get teenagers reaching out?
I do, but I don't take anything that's not over 18.
Okay.
Have you ever
sorry, go ahead.
No, have you ever run into somebody like you're like, oh, I know this guy?
Oh, yes.
Really?
I have. Well, I didn't run into him so much as I loyalty tested him a couple of years ago and ended up working on a project with his wife. She's local to California, and we, you know, do some business together. And I went to one of her opening events, and he was there, and he kept looking at me, really confused, and I just, you know, just gaslit him, you know.
So you're in LA. If someone's in Alabama, how are you able to be more convincing to someone in another state? Because, you know, if I was a cheater, but I got a message from you and I saw on your IG that you're in Los Angeles, I'm not even going to waste my time.
You know what? She's always wanted to go to Little Rock. It's on her vacation destination list.
Yes,
I mean, come on.
Is that your setup? I'm going to be in Little Rock soon and I think you're hot?
Something like that. You know, can't give away all the secrets. But true. Yeah, that's part of it. And there's a lot of research that goes on. And, you know, with my profile, because I have traveled all over and internationally doing photo shoots, then it made it a lot easier to, you know, be like, look at all these places I'm going, and then I'm going to be in your area next. So
she's got every angle figured out.
So have you ever had anybody come to you saying like, well, I wouldn't have cheated. I mean, if you didn't reach out to me. I mean, I just cheated because, like, you know, you're hot. I mean, it doesn't really count.
Oh, totally. And usually I block them before they get that word in, but it's I've made it part of our terms and conditions, which they have to accept to move forward. And one of my terms is you do not confront them until I've had a chance to block them. So
Nice.
before I had that very firmly put in place, I did get a couple messages that were like, do you enjoy breaking up families? I'm like, no, but apparently you do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
usually I just say something like, have a great day, like have the day you deserve, and then a heart emoji.
You don't have to give out names because that wouldn't be right. But
Oh yeah, no,
what profession have you had to do a test on of a famous person?
Ooh, good question.
the NBA,
Okay.
MLB, UFC.
Oh, athletes.
Oh,
Oh,
athletes.
athletes.
See, there's your idols right there, Andrew.
They're not my idols. I mean, I like betting on them, but otherwise, I know they're awful people. Some of them.
Well,
Yeah, they can be idols for different reasons. You don't have to envy their integrity or lack thereof.
okay. So one last question,
Sure.
and you can just give us a ballpark. How much money are you making?
Well, it wasn't full time until more recently, but I don't know, a couple extra $1,000 a month is what it started out to, and now it's kind of we're
Boom.
gonna see where it blossoms.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I think you know
yeah.
what I love entrepreneurs. I do. I mean, one last question. How did you come?
Sure.
I mean, would you just like come up with this idea overnight, or did somebody say, "Hey, would you do this?"
Yes, it was my fiance that
Oh, your
actually
fiance. You did
Yeah.
say that. That's right. You
Yeah,
did say
yeah. that I did that just because I've done things not exactly in the way that you see on TikTok, but I have, helped with getting information and providing it to attorneys and courts and things like that. So he's like, "You're pretty good at this. You should help
Well,
out some more."
we all have our niche in life, So
It's also entertaining. I mean, even if you don't need to test somebody, just go on either one of her channels on TikTok and watch the videos. They are very entertaining. You do a really good job.
yeah, you do a great
especially
job.
with your supercomputer. You do a really good job.
Well, thank you. That's all Danny. He does the editing. I just, go unhinged on camera and he edits it so I don't look as crazy.
Well, you do a great job, Madeline. You do. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You-
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's so fascinating to me. Things that you wouldn't think of like 5 or 10 years ago
No.
that are suddenly now a thing.
And I love the fact that she has other women, that she can franchise this thing out.
Yes.
Go global.
She is.
There are cheaters everywhere.
Does he like a blonde, a redhead?
Exactly. What's his kink?
But yeah, exactly. We can find that person. Well, isn't that something? She's going to have like this whole empire.
Yeah, it's a great business model.
All right. Coming up, NASA. What's the story?
NASA is looking for volunteers.
Can I volunteer?
Oh, Kim, I wish that you volunteer. Please get the first in line.
I'm there. I did teach NASA. I think it was probably like right before COVID. I taught a cybersecurity seminar
Really?
to every employee in NASA. This is not a joke.
I
mean,
believe you.
66,000 people.
Really?
Yes.
Is that why they got hacked? That was a joke. That was just a little joke.
You hurt my heart.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think I can go on.
The Kim Commando show with just Kim Commando, where we come back. I'm bounced.
Let me tell you about a revolutionary new mobile voicemail app. If you've got a business, your voicemail is probably filled with messages from customers. Often the messages don't contain all the details you need. But what if you were able to get visual information from your callers? That's something you can't do with a traditional audio voicemail box, but you can with Fillmore Productions Video Voicemail. With Fillmore Productions Video Voicemail, callers receive a link to download the mobile app. There they can view important details about your business, watch videos about what you have to offer, and then leave you a video message. Actors and musicians can showcase what they do, and callers to medical practices or repair shops can report their issues visually. There are so many things that video voicemail can do for a business that makes audio voicemail a thing of the past. Discover what video voicemail can do for your business. Visit getvideovoicemail.com. That's getvideovoicemail.com. That's getvideovoicemail.com.
Hey, it's called Kim Commando today.
Oh, that's right.
Not Andrew Babinski today for a reason. I mean, just saying.
It was a quick-witted joke.
It was a nice bit.
Thank you.
But let's kind of try to keep that to yourself.
All right, well, I'll keep it shut.
Hey, listen, don't forget to share this out. One person, that's all. And then if you are listening as the podcast, we appreciate that. Make sure that you also try us out every once in a while as a video cast. You can also stream us wherever you get your videos. Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We haven't asked for comments.
Oh, yeah. We got to get comments before the last segment.
Yeah. So if you are watching, give us some great comments. Love to get your feedback. You have any questions? Now's the time to send them. Because Maddie's going to be bringing us down the comments in just a few seconds. And before we get to all of that, NASA needs volunteers for what?
4 people. NASA is looking for 4 people who are willing to live in a 1,700 square foot barrack and simulate living on Mars for a year.
I'm not going to volunteer.
You already raised your hand.
I'm putting it down.
There's no takesies backsies.
Okay, 4 people in 1,700 square feet for a year?
Correct.
Not
now,
me.
There's a little bit of an outside area that's going to simulate Mars. And there's a brick building machine out there and a weather station. But most of the time will be spent in the 4 rooms, the bedroom, not bedrooms, the bedroom,
okay,
the gym, the recreational area, and then the bathroom and kitchen. It's how it was described, but I'm hoping those are at least separated by a wall.
Something.
The criteria for it is you have to be between 30 and 55 years of age. You have to be in good health.
Okay.
You can't have any, the things that you couldn't have gastro issues.
Oh, because you're going to want to stink the place up.
So tutors are not welcome. And then you have a couple of physical things you need to be able to. You also need to work in STEM for at least 3 years or have an educational background in science, technology.
Yeah, I can't have that.
No. Yeah, there's so many things that are ruling out.
I know, it's just, the whole gastronomic. I mean, I want to say anything.
Now, they're taking applications until April 2nd.
So you got to hurry.
And it's a volunteer position, but you actually get paid.
How much?
$10 an hour.
That's it?
For only waking hours.
No way.
Yes.
Only waking
You're
hours?
sleeping for free, Kim Commando.
No.
So they're saying it'll be, if you stay for the whole 12 months, if you lasted the whole 12 months, and you're not a heavy sleeper, you should make about $60,000 in the year.
That's awful.
It's not enough.
It's not.
To be a guinea pig, a science. Now, they're saying, and I don't know if I believe this, that by the end of 2039,
okay,
we're going to have people living on Mars.
You said 2039 or
Yes.
2030?
The end of 2030, the 2030s.
Oh, okay, I see.
So by 2030 or sooner, by 2039 or sooner, we're going to have people living on Mars.
Would you go?
I have young kids.
Well, they'd be older then.
Yeah. I don't think, if they told me, honestly, I think we've talked about this on the show. If they said you're getting on a spaceship and you're just going, I would be interested because I am so curious what is out there. But if you think about it, it takes 8 months to get to Mars?
Yeah.
I mean, in my lifetime, how far can I go? I so want to know what's out there.
You know what? You are interested in this.
I am.
I can see your face.
My mind cannot even comprehend how far. We think Phoenix to New York. Well, that's far.
Yes.
That's 3,000 miles.
I got to drive to Mesa.
Exactly. My mind cannot comprehend how big, vast, and far space is. How many millions of years we are from the next galaxy.
You're not going to get that in Houston. When you're sitting there in the simulation. I'm just saying.
You're not. You're absolutely not. But I mean, they're going to test you by, the people are actually going to be guinea pigs because you're going to have this full physical and medical workup on you while you're there. But I don't, first of all, I don't know why we're sending people to Mars. You can't live on Mars. I mean, every other year, the whole thing fills with dust and you can't even breathe in.
Wait, it sounds like Phoenix.
There's 700 times the amount of radiation on Mars than there is on Earth.
I don't know why.
We got to find her on Earth too, because Mars ain't happening.
Well, we have that. I mean, the moon.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking this while I was reading this story. I was like, why are we so fixated on living on Mars and not on the moon?
I'm not really sure. I don't really know.
I wonder if it's a real estate price thing.
You know, my nephew recently lost his job at NASA.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
He worked in mission control.
Did he?
Yeah. He misheard when somebody said it's lunchtime.
He just sent the rocket. And so I hope he lands on his feet.
Oh, good one. All right, still to come, we have some Gen Z slang. And see, it's our mission to make sure that when you are talking to the Gen Zer in your life, that you know exactly what you're saying. And they're not making fun of you. They're not talking behind your back because you're just not. All right, so it's Kim Commando today. Every single day, get this, today, every single day.
I just made that connection.
Boom.
So smart.
Yes, he can do it. Monday through Friday, so it's not every day.
Oh, yeah.
But Saturday and Sunday, you can like relive your best days.
But Kim Commando today-ish, just not a good enough name for a podcast.
Every once in a while.
Today-ish.
Maybe today.
Kinda.
You're here. But it's not the same as the Kim Commando Show.
No.
The Kim Commando Show is the 3-hour big weekend show on 425 stations. And if you want that commercial free, you can get that on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. So wherever you are. And I really wish that somebody would sign up for the Kim Commando Show on Spotify. Even if you just do it for 1 month.
Why is that?
Because Jeremy makes fun of me.
That nobody has signed up on Spotify?
One person.
Hey, you got one.
I know.
Super fan.
And I keep saying, like, we will find the Spotify people.
And how long's it been?
A couple of weeks.
Oh, that's not. Oh, come on. I thought you were going to say months or a year.
It was, but I didn't want to say that.
Okay, then he should continue to make fun of you then.
All right. So if you wanted to get the Kim Commando Show commercial free, okay, you want to go to Apple Podcasts and search for Kim Commando Show or Spotify.
Yes.
Kim Commando Show.
I heard it's so much better on Spotify.
It's amazing on Spotify.
Audio quality is pristine.
All right. Before we talk about Gen Zers, here's some comments. I did make a mistake.
Did you?
Yeah, Jimmy J and Chuck Rodriguez, they said those were not AKs 47s. Those were AR-15s.
Come on. Seriously, Kim.
I know. I mean, that was bad.
You're misinforming the masses.
I know. Jimmy J, he says this story's nuts. They just caught one gang. Maybe it'll be catch and release. Can you believe it's happening, though? He said you have to think they're going to hit twice. I hope they don't hit twice.
You'd think they'd get scared enough.
They just kind of move on.
But they're not done. They're going to keep doing this.
Yes. Nancy Gilboy says it's scary and so sad it's happening all across the country. We're talking about the SWAT team and the gangs from South America.
Yeah, Kim's neighborhood got hit by the organized crime unit that's robbing everybody's houses.
It's time to ride. He says, "Oh, Kim, don't show your house. You don't want your floor plan to be known." I only showed the outside of the house, but this is a good point. One of the sergeants told me that when they'll case the neighborhood and then they'll pick the house that has pictures of the house up on Zillow. So that this way they know exactly where to get in the house, especially and sometimes there's floor plans in Zillow. So if you have your house in Zillow, Redfin, whatever it may be, what you need to do is claim your house. And then once you claim it, get rid of all the photos.
Right.
And so that's what you need to
Well,
do.
if it's not on the market, there's no reason for that information to be on the internet.
Exactly. Claire Reed says, "God bless the honest, brave policemen who risk their lives daily to protect our families all over America." 1,000% with you, Claire. Gary says, "My wife has access to my location 24/7.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Like I
the way it
said,
is.
a woman I'm dating. Does Barry have access to your location?
Of course he does.
Well, sorry. I was hoping you would be like, yeah, of course. We trust each other. It's fine. That was a little. Can you watch him?
Yes.
Now, have you ever turned it on, Find My Friends, and he's not there?
Yeah, that's normally because his phone died. Okay.
Same thing happens to me all the time.
Okay. But sometimes it's like, I don't know if I should. Sometimes if I'm like, I need a walk and I need a break, I turn off the location service.
So he can't come up behind you in a car
Yes.
and honk at you?
Oh my God, need some private time. Okay. Jimmy J. also writes, "The most attractive woman in the room or online can become ugly in an instant with what she says. Suggesting infidelity turns her ugly real quick."
I get what he's saying, but these guys...
I think there's a history here.
Yeah, but these guys,
There's a
they
history.
want to have infidelity. They want to cheat on their partners. There's serial cheaters that she is hooking up with. I'm serious. Go watch some of her TikTok videos. It happens so fast.
You know what? We don't have time for the Gen Z, so we're going to do that tomorrow.
All right.
But I will tell you one thing. I'm so glad that it's now called hashtag instead of pound.
Oh, why?
Because otherwise the Hound Me Too movement would have a whole new meaning.
It went blue. I like it.
Watch out. All right. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. As always, we love to get your comments. You can send them to podcasts@commando.com. And as always, we'll be here tomorrow. So make sure that you look really good because we want to be able to, make sure that you look good.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking about the viewers.
Oh, good. I'm
Yeah.
just going to look the same.
All
I
right.
look like I look.
Very handsome. I like it.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.